Welcome to Peterborough, location for this year's edition of Mudbusters. Let's take this opportunity to see all the vehicles that will be taking part in today's programme. The red, white and blue teams are represented by Porsche 959s and Toyota Celicas. In the off-road section there are Mudblasters, Monster Beetles and King Cabs. And here's an awesome sight. Representing the monster truck section, the gruesome Gravedigger. Next, a bombed out Bullhead. And from the Bigfoot family, Clodbuster. All these trucks look pretty battle scarred, and you'll find out why a little later on. Now let's take a look at the course. And who better to tell us all about it, Mr. Mudbusters, Ken Burns.
Thanks, Russ. As you can see, the course was built from scratch, with a great deal of help from the staff of the London Brick Company in Whittlesea, Peterborough. We set about shaping the 10th scale terrain.
So Ken, how do you go about building a 10th scale hill?
By hand. In fact, everything's done by hand, including the planting of 750 dwarf conifers that lined the route.
And did you have any problems with the course?
Yes, flood, and if it wasn't for the speedy assistance of the pump engineers, all would have been washed away. But as you can see, everything was all right on the day. All we needed now was a clapperboard and somebody to shout action.
And now for the first race category. The drivers and navigators are all belted up, and the Toyotas and Porsches are revving up and raring to go. The red, white and blue teams are all eager to grind some gravel. So sit back and enjoy some earlier heat highlights which generated more than a few thrills and spills. with the off-road vehicles ready for the green light, here's heat highlights from their category. Let's take a closer look at the individual vehicles featured in Mudbusters. What have we got here, Ken?
Well, here, driving along, just showing what it can do on the rough terrain, is a Toyota Hilux, well known for its double wishbone suspension system, which enables it to travel at such speed.
And here's the Mudblaster.
Yes, it certainly is. It's Subaru's popular and stylish mid-sized brat pickup truck. And actually, this one has got an ABS resin space frame, which means it's really, really tough. And that, with the coil spring shock absorbers, means that when you're in competition with this one, you've got yourself a winner.
And what have we got here, Ken?
We've got the high and mighty Nissan King Cab. This one's got four-wheel drive, independent suspension, coil-over-oil shock absorbers, and if you look very closely, it's got a very strange set of wheels.
Oh, and here's my favourite.
Well, actually, Russ, here's everybody's favourite. It's the Monster Beetle. The tall and humorous features of this car stand out on or off the track. The high-performance competition 540 type motor is included, along with the adjustable oil-filled competition shocks.
And this looks like another King Cab.
You're right there, Russ, it's the Blue Team's King Cab. This one has got 114mm diameter semi-pneumatic spiked tyres for earth-kicking action. When you see this one on the course, you better get out of the way. Now here's the Gravedigger and all the other monster trucks in highlights from the earlier heats.
Now back to the individual profiles. Here's the 10th scale model of one of the most famous American monster trucks. Gravedigger sits on not 4 but 8 large shocks above 4 giant flotation tyres.
Actually, Russ, something you might not be aware of, we filmed Mudbusters in slow motion, so now you can actually see those shocks at work.
Now here's the ultimate in an all-terrain crusher. The Clodbuster rides on mammoth 165mm semi-pneumatic rubber-like tyres damped by 8 long-stroke coil shocks. It's actually powered by 2 540 type motors, and its huge ground clearance can almost take it over anything in its path. Now here's the very latest addition to the Tamiya fleet. A very weird looking vehicle. It's aptly named Bullhead. The machine is 4-wheel drive and 4-wheel steer and has self-cleaning tyres, which means the vehicle has got the ultimate grip on any terrain. Superb for the Mudbusters circuit. Now it's time to go trackside for the saloon car final. The earlier heats were so close that no car has gained pole position. The tension mounts. And they're away, side by side. Who's it going to be that breaks into the lead first?
It's the white Porsche taking the lead, closely followed by the blue Celica. He's going to take him on the outside. But what a jump into the air, did you see that?
Oh, and the red one's lost it. Over and over he goes, but no, the driver doesn't look too concerned.
That's probably because it wasn't his car. The white Celica falls at the entrance of the tunnel, but he's out again. They're all safely through the tunnel and heading towards the first bend. The blue Porsche is off. He's off at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen.
And that leaves it wide open with the red Celica streaking out in front. The white Porsche still has a lot of ground to make up.
And not very much time to do it in. We're halfway through the race and it's really hotting up.
And the blue Celica now hot on the heels of that white Porsche. Just a couple more bends to go before the finish.
Here's the finish.
And it's the white Porsche first, the Toyota Celica second, and the blue Porsche comes in a very close third.
And one hits the camera.
Now here's the off-road final. And away they go, taking it very, very easy to start, making sure that no mistakes are made so earlier on in this race.
Oh, the Monster Beetle took a tumble there. He's on his wheels, but I think he's caught up in some of those trees.
And the first King Cab climbing the hill, and he's over. So is the Mudblaster.
The white King Cab is over. The blue King Cab's over.
And the Monster Beetle back on his wheels and looking fairly safe so far. Obviously not too much damage.
What great teamwork from these two. The white team, the Hilux and the King Cab going round together. Everything may appear to be very slow, but that's because it's actually in slow motion.
And here's the Monster Beetle team. One missing the corner completely, the steering all to pot, and the other Beetle just hanging on for dear life onto this all-terrain circuit.
Here's the blue King Cab bringing up the rear. He's lost it. He's stalled it. He's out of it.
And so close to the finish line. The white Nissan King Cab nosedives over the line. Second place goes to, let's see, the Monster Beetle, and third place to the Subaru Mudblaster. And now, the final of all finals.
There we go. The race of the century has just begun.
2 Clodbusters, 2 Gravediggers and 2 Bullheads, and the Clodbuster already out in front.
The Gravedigger's giving chase but stands aside to his teammate who looks like he's got a little bit more push.
They've got to catch that Clodbuster before the hill. It's going to be a long, hard climb, and the Clodbuster doesn't make it.
Further back in the field, there's the second Bullhead and Clodbuster. Clodbuster doesn't seem to be making much ground at all.
But the Bullhead really taking everything in his stride and making sure that there's no mistakes on climbing this huge hill. The 4-wheel drive and 4-wheel steer working overtime.
There's the Clodbuster that's in front. He's really taking those humps well.
Yes, the bouncing about, having to be really careful not to lose control.
Oh no, disaster struck. The lead Clodbuster is stuck in the sand. He's kicking it up everywhere. Not even a nudge from that gravedigger will shift it.
And they have all now passed that marooned Clodbuster and onto the most difficult part of the circuit.
You're right there, Russ. Not only has this got hills, potholes and trees, it's also on a slant.
The four-wheel drive and four-wheel steer really having to work overtime to cope with this tough terrain.
I must say, Russ, having built this course, I'm very surprised how easy these gravedigger drivers are making it look.
And not forgetting Bullhead, very close behind, but credit has got to go to the drivers.
Oh, very, very much so, Russ. In fact, to drive one of these trucks when your viewpoint is not from the cab is quite an achievement.
And the Bullhead taking the completely wrong line for a moment and actually slipping along and out of view, leaving the area clear for Clodbuster to go through.
Moving on to a different section now. Everybody appears to be present and correct. Nobody missing. So over to you, Russ.
And the action is really hotting up, with all the vehicles really going all out. We're about halfway through the course, and the two Clodbusters really are eating up these miles.
Actually, I think, Russ, there's a lot of strategy being played here. The drivers are fully aware of the strengths and weaknesses of each truck, so they're waiting for certain sections to actually show what they can do.
And with Clodbuster showing just what it can do on this section, the high centre of gravity helping it over those hills and making sure that the vehicle is totally stable.
I'll have to stop you there, Russ. The Clodbuster looked like it was about to take that tree out. And in the background there, that Bullhead just thought that tree wasn't there.
And losing valuable seconds on the latter part of this race. Gravedigger, though, still plodding along nicely.
His teammate's a bit further up the field. Here it is, and what a lovely angle.
Well, Clodbuster just behind Bullhead at the moment, but who's out in front?
Unfortunately, they're going to go out of shot. We'll only be able to see the final straight. Will Clodbuster be able to take Bullhead?
And yes, he's done it. Clodbuster over the line, followed closely by Bullhead, who smashes into the camera.
Now those monsters better watch out. There's a tank about.
Now it's time for the driver's individual challenge. Each driver has to take his truck around the course against the clock. Over to our course marshal, Paul Stainton.
Okay then, Jamie, it's up to you to set the pace. 3, 2, 1, go!
So off goes Jamie Booth with Bullhead, setting the pace for the rest of the field. What sort of time is he going to do? Tight round the corner, but took it just a little bit too wide. Left-hand turn. Jamie Booth running on close behind, over the hill. And now the race to the finish. Jamie Booth, 1 minute, 43 seconds.
Now remember, Colin, your time starts when you hit that trigger. On your marks, get set, go!
And there goes Colin Spinner with the Gravedigger. Got a time to beat of 1 minute, 43 seconds, and this is looking very, very swift indeed. No mistakes so far. That right-hand bend proving to be a problem with a few of them, taking it too wide. But a noble effort by Colin Spinner, coming up to the finish line.
Well done, Colin. What's the time?
10 past 5.
Wayne, on my mark. 3, 2, 1, go!
So Wayne Pendleton's next with the Clodbuster. The time for Colin Spinner's Gravedigger was 1 minute 39 seconds. And already a tumble for the Clodbuster. That's lost him valuable seconds, and he's going to need to make that up on the rest of the course. Can he do it? 1 minute 39, the time to beat, set now by the Gravedigger, and somehow I don't think he's going to make it. On the last little stretch.
Okay, unlucky, Wayne, unlucky. All the best then, Alan. After 3, 3, 2, 1, go!
So Alan Harmon with the Bullhead taking off at an amazing pace at the moment. Wayne Pendleton's Clodbuster totally out of it. So Alan trying to beat Colin's time of 1 minute 39 seconds. And taking the corner just a little bit wide, but it's not costing him too much time. This is an amazing time for Alan Harmon. Look at the speed he's going round these bends. I think it's going to take some beating.
Well done, Alan. Right then, Steve, you know the time you've got to beat. On your marks, get set, go!
And the time to beat is 1 minute 26 seconds, set by Alan Harmon with the Bullhead. But Steve Brace is looking as though he's going extremely well at the moment with his second Gravedigger. This first corner, though, always tends to catch them out. But the Gravedigger plodding on nicely. But he's really going to have to open it up if he's going to beat that time set by Alan Harmon with the Bullhead. Is he going to make it? Somehow, I don't think so.
Right, David, you're going to have to motor. After 3, 3, 2, 1, go!
He really is going to have to motor because the time still to beat is 1 minute 26 seconds. The last race we saw, Steve Brace with the second Gravedigger got a second place with 1 minute 31 seconds. This is the only machine that can now win this challenge, the Clodbuster.